Well, the chase was perfectly planned. Started off with Conway getting to a landmark, then the captain himself making sure they're in the game. And what do you say about Philip? He snatched victory out of nowhere. Pakistan probably was caught napping. Eventually, the series won by New Zealand 2-1, and this is how it happened. Pakistan won the toss and they posted 280 for 9. One would have thought that this is enough, keeping in mind how the scores have been in the ODI series. But New Zealand, courtesy some really good hard-hitting batting from Philip, is not out 63. They managed to get there with time to spare and 2 wickets in hand. Hello and welcome to Inverix Solar Energy Pitchside Studio. We've just witnessed something special from Glenn Phillips, and who would have thought when they had this middle order collapse and they were 5 down, still 10 overs to go, one would think watching TV or being here that Pakistan has got this. But Philip came out there and he just controlled things, Uruj.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
and in some fantastic fashion. Exciting it was.
Yeah.
They were 205 for 6, requiring 70 odd from 70 odd deliveries, and it was Pakistan versus Glenn Phillips. And it was Glenn Phillips playing T20 version of it. And I think what worked for New Zealand is he stuck to his natural game. And whenever the ball was there, he had 4 massive hits and put New Zealand well in front. And that is pretty much what took the game away from Pakistan completely.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Glenn Phillips and there was 60 required in the last 10, they could have gone easily run a ball knowing that they've had a middle order collapse. But they just went on attacking. Probably you feel that Babar Azam and men were caught napping. They didn't have an idea.
You know the best thing about tonight? You lost. You lost.
I lost.
Just you, not Pakistan, you.
I lost.
And I was in tears, everyone. I was so pleased, crying. On a serious note, Glenn Phillips played out of his skin.
Yeah.
I know I've been very fortunate, Sackers, to see him in T20 globally around the place, and particularly in the Caribbean. He is just smashing it everywhere. And I just felt that he felt that I've got to get in here and I've really got to stamp my authority here, get in and just back himself, how he can play. And he's so extraordinary with his power on the onside and using not much of a backlift to then get rid of it quickly with those fast hands and hit sixes. 4 sixes and 4 fours and a strike rate of 150 and 63 not out. You'd be pleased with that.
I'm pretty pleased, and it was enjoyment, total entertainment. Yes, Pakistan lost that game, but then that was some special performance. Now, you're talking about special performances. What I liked and what you guys also mentioned about Fakhr Zaman's innings was that he was playing against his natural way, which is attacking, and he held himself back. His 101 was special, knowing when his captain had been dismissed cheaply.
I think that's why it was so special, knowing that Shan went for a duck. Babar Azam came out, got stumped for 4. And you're very right, it was not his natural game to hold back so far. The ball, when it was on the leg side, that's where most of his boundaries came. And that's where he's very strong. But the feature of his game was nudging the ball around. And it wasn't a slow 100 by any terms in context of the game, but special for him to come back in the runs. And it was his runs up front that Pakistan got that big total.
Learn the self-control from him.
Yeah, and that's what the beautiful thing it's called experience, and that's what experience does for you. And I know this wouldn't have suited him at all, but it just goes to show you when you've played a lot of cricket and you've got the smarts to think about, I've got to pull this back a little bit and just adapt to the situation that's in front of me. Fakhr Zaman showed his class.
Yeah, he scored 101, but that was completely overshadowed by that 63 not out by our top performer. Top Performer, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy.
Yeah, I was mentioning this fellow about the faster format at T20. It was almost that situation where he came in to suddenly take the game by the scruff of the neck and say, look, we need sort of, when it was 205 for 6? And so that scenario from then, he said, I need to get on with this. He lost Latham and then said, hey, I'm going to play like only I can play and back my ability. Quite extraordinary.
If you look at his scoring, Uruj, I mean, he's been unforgiving in front of the square on either side.
Yeah, especially on the leg side, especially when he sort of hangs back in his crease and he, like Danny said, those fast hands with some brute force, 100-meter 6 and a couple of 90-meter big hits. That was quite exceptional.
Top Performer, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy. Okay, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the 8 wickets that fell. Hello and welcome back to Inverix Solar Energy Pitchside Studio. Talking about the 8 wickets that fell. Let's have a look and get Danny Morrison, the bowler, into it. Fall of wickets, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy.
Yeah, when you look at the run-outs in this game, extraordinary. Was there 4 of them? That was a cracker. Finn Allen, yeah, hesitated, caught napping and gone. And then he leant back on the stroke there, Devon Conway. And that was his undoing. And once again, spinners to the fore. Mitchell, not the smartest option, given there was just 5 taken off that over. And only had to play a little bit more orthodox. And the run out, this was a big moment. This was massive with Kane Williamson run out and a great throw from Wassing Jr. And you thought, hello, this could be a big downfall. And then the chop on from Bracewell. Hit a 6, then got out. And then a little dab around the corner that was just a bottom edge onto the stumps as well. And the end of Latham. 205 for 6, dangerous. And we thought, well, is there something else going to go on? Santner lost balance and got castled, and then Sodhi came in, and if you'd gone through with us a bit more, could have won the game. But chipped out for 0, and there's your 8 wickets.
Fall of wickets, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy. Babar at the post-match said probably 300 was also on the cards. Fakhar Zaman losing his wicket to a run out because he had twisted his ankle, and then Haris Sohail, and that probably set them back. Do you feel that he was expecting a little more reliance on the spinners and he thought the spin would do that magic which was there in the first 2 games?
I'd say partly, because especially him winning the toss was an element of the expectation of the wicket to play similar in the first 2 games, that it might spin and grip sharply under lights. It wasn't the case. But I still feel 282 was good enough. 300, well, could have been a different story. Like I said, I think Pakistan let themselves down, with their fielding off the boundary. There were a couple of very casual efforts where they just weren't looking to stop the 2s. Rizwan dropped one, which I felt was a huge turning point in the game. He dropped Phillips when they still needed about 24 odd runs and could have been a very different story. So I think it was them let down in the field, not so much the bowling itself.
Okay. Let's get to hashtag Have Your Say, where you ask questions to our guests. Have Your Say, brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy. Danny, question for you in hashtag Have Your Say from the people is that, I won't say is it a concern, but there is some similarity. The middle order, batting first and then today in the chase, have not really come to the party.
It's been around for a while, isn't it? A good question. And what are they going to address and how do they deal with it? Well, you brought Haris Sohail back into the side. He showed glimpses again. It is an annoying thing because you're going about opening the batting. Everyone feels it's quite, the new ball and it's coming on. And yeah, there's challenges with that. Yet you've only got 2 men out, rah-de-rah-de-rah. But if you lose a couple of wickets early, suddenly you're exposing that crucial middle order. If Babar's not getting your runs with Mohammad Rizwan, then there are concerns. I saw glimpses of Salman today, Salman. I like what I see there. You just got to say, we've got to settle on a side and stick with it and back these guys to do a job over a long period of time, because, Sackers, there is a certain World Cup in October, November this year.
I was asking about New Zealand.
Oh, no, I'm talking about yours.
I'm going to ask her that.
Well, no, then swap. So it should be New Zealand's now.
New Zealand has had this issue in the 2nd game and in the 3rd game. That the middle order has, after that brilliant partnership over 181 and again today, what, according to you, seems to be the area of concern for them?
I think I asked Kane Williamson at the toss and asked him similar question, that the middle order in the first game got starts and the second game didn't come to the party at all. But I think today, with the way Phillips played and with Mitchell and Latham, so again, similar to Pakistan, they look like they've decided on a side and probably a longer run up till October. Maybe they could chop around Latham for 4 and Daryl Mitchell for 5. Daryl Mitchell's fallen to this reverse sweep a couple of times, but he's a sort of aggressor who wants to impact himself on the game. I still wouldn't worry too much about it, because when you've got a finisher in the form of Glenn Phillips, Saturn can put runs as well. I don't think, as from a New Zealand point of view, it'll be too much concern.
There you go. That's Have Your Say. Have your say. Brought to you by Inverix Solar Energy. Welcome back once again. Danny was very happy that I lost, but it's not over yet. You guys are coming back. Go on, get some practice. This is not very far away. It's going to be post PSL into the year. He got 5 ODIs and 5 T20s, so it's basically 2-1 in the 8 games. We're just giving you the trophy.
It's a different series.
Have a look at this.
Come
It
on.
starts on the 13th of April, but we start with the T20s. That's 5 of them. And then from the 26th of April, it's going to be the 5 ODIs, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow, that's a lot of cricket. I didn't think it was that. I thought it was possibly another scenario where it was 3 T20s and maybe 5, but it's 5 and 5. That's a lot. I'm going to miss you guys.
Are you not coming back?
No, I can't. My visa ran out. Come on.
Well, anyway, I'll thank you, and I'll thank you also for joining the show. Wonderful having you here for the ODIs, and probably see you very, very soon back in Pakistan for the PSL. And hope you guys have enjoyed our coverage for, of course, the 2 test matches and the 3 ODIs right here from the National Bank Cricket Arena. Cricket is, you know, a lot of cricket around here, and this Inverix Solar Energy Pitchside Studio will come and entertain you and get you more talks on cricket. But until we meet again, take care of yourself, be good, and it's good night.